Anime Adventures is well known for its incredible grind. If you want to be at the top of the game, then you've gotta act like it's a full-time job. Clock in, clock out, every day, non-stop. Yo, what you want, boss? I'm kinda busy.
Actually macro for 24 hours last night.
Nah, I couldn't. It was my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, you're fired.
Okay, so not everyone has time for all that, but thankfully there's ways to optimize everything you do, saving you time and making your experience playing Anime Adventures a hell of a lot easier. As you can tell, I've played Anime Adventures for a long time, so who better to present you this video about the absolute best tips to improve the way you play the game. Trust me, I have been through hell and back learning all of this stuff, and some of them I just learned recently, so whether you're a beginner or more experienced, doesn't really matter. There's probably something in here for you. I highly recommend you try and apply all 5 of these tips because I'm really smart and awesome, so they'll probably help you out for the rest of your life. When you're married with 2 children, sitting on your porch, making $120K a year, you're gonna sit there and think, man, thank God Vago uploaded that Anime Adventures tips video. So watch till the end so you don't happen to miss anything you might need to know. Lastly, if you find the video helpful and want more guides and content like this, then you should consider subscribing. I've got a lot more on the way, and so if you don't want to miss it, then that's your best bet. Anyways, let's close out this intro and jump right into tip number 1. So for tip number 1, let's start with worthiness. Worthiness is the mechanic that determines how well your unit stats will be when you re-roll them. Your unit stats are very important when it comes to how strong they can be. They can change a tower from being great to nearly perfect, and so as such, you always want to have the best stats. Having 100% worthiness on a unit nearly guarantees at least an A- and has the best chance to get you one of the higher stat tiers, but oh my god, it takes forever. Farming 100% worthiness easily will take you over an hour to do. So, you know what? Let's try and make this process as fast and as efficient as possible. Let's start with our map. Where are we going to be farming worthiness? Well, the best answer for that is the Attack on Titan map, Walled City. It's only the 2nd story stage, so we can get a ton of takedowns in there easily. But another big reason we're choosing Walled City over some other easy stage like Namek is because the AOT map has an enemy that splits into other enemies. This means that we can get more takedowns compared to other maps. So how can we make the most out of these takedowns? Well, it's honestly pretty simple. The more placements your unit has, the more likely it is to get a takedown from every enemy that spawns. So if we're going to utilize our placements the best, then make sure that the units you're using have different targeting so that they're not all attacking the same exact spot. This way you'll get more worthiness. Now on when to stop, I usually stop at around wave like 110, 113, but this might change for all of you. A high SPA, low placement amount, or unique unit will all take longer to get worthiness, so adjust how long you stay in by those factors. Also, you guys should try going lower than 110. I haven't done it, but 110 is just my way to be sure, so you probably don't need to go that far. Somewhere around 100 is probably good. If you end up trying it in the comments, then let me know. Now, tip number 2 will be about stat transferring. And I told y'all that stats would be important. Stat transferring is one of the best features in the game, and it helps you out a ton if you want your units to be the absolute best. In short, if you have a unit with good stats and want to move them over to a better unit, you can sacrifice the unit with good stats to do so, with a 50% chance to succeed. Now before you start going on a killing spree and evaporating all your units, there should be a couple things you do first. Firstly, the best units to build stats on are always going to be battle pass units. They're usually not very good, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing them, and the best part is that they're extremely easy to evolve. Evolving guarantees an increase in stats, so battle pass units are the perfect pick. Then once you're done with all that previous stuff, transfer the stats to the unevolved version of the unit you want. If it succeeds, then you can evolve that unit, increasing the stats again, and now everyone's happy. Now you can get more ambitious than this. You know, it doesn't really stop there. You can stat transfer an infinite amount of times. It's just that it's really risky because you can easily lose your stats because it's a 50% chance, but I mean high risk, high rewards, you know? I have a friend who used to farm worthiness, evolve, stat transfer, and then repeat that for like 10 times until he got the absolute perfect stats, and then he would transfer it to a unit. Again, really risky, I wouldn't recommend it, but you do you. But anyways, with the method I was explaining earlier, it's practically impossible to get below an S+. If Grandma and little Timmy can do it, then you can too. Now tip number 3, if you are not doing the challenges, you are not playing anime adventures right. I'm sure you've all figured out by now that you need to play challenges to get the stars to evolve your units, but if you're not making sure to do the daily challenge every day, then you have to be missing half of your head. The daily challenge is probably the most important game mode, especially for free-to-play players. I see a lot of people always complain about how hard it is to get free rerolls, so if you're skipping out on it, you're selling. The daily challenge is one of the only consistent ways to gain the free version of rerolls, which are remnants. It can give between 10 to 50 remnants on every completion, which you can only do once per day. It's also the only mode where you can get divine wishes, which I'll go into more depth about later. But seriously, it's like the one benefit that free-to-play players are given besides the once in every 2,000 years they drop a code. Not doing it every day is like turning down free money. Go get your bread, bro. Now tip number 4, this one is about the star remnants that I was just talking about. As I said, these are very limited and you don't come across them often, so you want to make sure every single time that you're using them correctly. Firstly, if you do not have a single golden farm, then that's where we're going to start. Now I know you might be thinking, well, what? I don't want a world on my farm, I want a unique, I want a divine. No you don't, you're not getting that. Let's just remember, it costs 5 star remnants to reroll a trait on a mythic unit. However, it only takes 1 to reroll on any lower rarity. This means that it'd make more sense to go for golden farms with these rerolls before a good trait on any mythic unit. With 50 star remnants, you get only 10 rerolls on a mythic unit, but 50 rerolls on Speedwagon or Bulma. I know the thought of getting unique is tantalizing, but you gotta fight back the demons. You're gonna waste your rerolls. So roll on your farms with the remnants until you get golden on a 1 or both. Then you can think about the oh so lovely 0.1% crown. Now tip number 5, the last tip in this video, will be about divine wishes. Again, another reward from the daily challenge. Divine wishes are really only something you need to worry about if you're completely caught up and progressed and have nothing else to do. Divine wishes basically ascend your unit, allowing them to gain 10 extra levels, give your team a 5% damage buff, and this little rainbow sheen thing that's fun to look at. However, not all ascended units are created equal, at least not in the beginning at least. Since ascending your units takes 12 mythic unit sacrifices, you really do not want to waste any of them. So to get the most value out of your divine wish, you actually want to ascend the weakest units on your team first. Once again, I'm talking about your farms. Since you're always bringing at least 1 farm to really like any mode, you're going to want to ascend them first, so you at least always have a 5 to 10% buff wherever you go. Once you've done that, then maybe you can ascend your uniques if you have any, since you'll probably be using those, but if you're a tournament player, then I'd ascend some of these units that are on screen. They're all heavily used within the tournaments, and a 5% damage buff really may not seem like a lot, but when your entire team is giving that 5% damage buff, it stacks up. It makes a huge difference. Once you get all those down though, after that it doesn't really matter, just ascend what you need. And with that, we're done with the video. As I said before, these tips will stay with you throughout the rest of your life, and so for as a thank you present you could give to me, all you gotta do is click that little button. You know the one I'm talking about. Thanks for watching till the end. All links are in my description. And I'll see y'all later, man.